All right, here with Greenbrier West coach Kelly Vaughan. Kelly, first of all, I heard a report the other night, and it mentioned you're that first-year coach and won a state title. I think it was one of your players that mentioned it on a newscast. But you play for a title in your first year. Have you really spent much time thinking about last year, or you been full bore into this year since the season ended?
I'm definitely more into this year. I mean, last year those kids did a fabulous job, and it's hats off to that bunch. But we got some kids here now that it's their turn, and we want them to have as much success as that bunch last year did.
With that bunch, you lost a lot of really good seniors. You have to replace a lot of guys. I know you're going with, at quarterback, you had a record setter, Cole Vandal. I think you're going with his cousin now, Evan Vandal. Just talk about Evan, his progression, what you like about him at that spot.
Evan does a really nice job. The thing we as a staff really like about him is he's athletic. Not only does he run well, he can throw the ball. Now he's green. He hasn't played the position, but the reason he's in that position as we speak is due to his being so athletic that it just helps him make plays when things get broke up.
Because Cole Vandal was so good in the pass game, do you think you'll have to and he was a guy with some experience, having a guy that's kind of green back there, do you have to pare it back a little bit? Will you maybe be a little more run heavy than you were? Which is funny saying that in Greenbrier West, which are always traditionally have been, mainly run oriented. But is there any changes due to personnel?
Not really. We're running the same type of offense, and we got different sets and different looks. And as the season progresses, things may change. But right now, you can't replace a Cole. He was a 3-year starter, and Evan, like I say, is inexperienced. But again, I'll go back to his athletic abilities. That should help him once the season gets started.
Brandon Potter is he's a big guy for you and had a great year, especially on defense last year. I mean, I think he might have been one of the leading tacklers on the team next to Holiday. What does a guy like Potter bring to what you're doing here this year?
Potter's one of those kids that's very intelligent, understands the game, and to go along with that, he can run. And we got him and C.W. Sturgill playing in at linebacker, and the way those kids read on the run and understand what their responsibilities are, it just helps the ebb and flow with the defense, and they're also leaders. They're not really a rah-rah type leaders, but they lead by example, and that's what we've got some good leaders, and we expect a lot out of them.
What did those guys? Did they play varsity on your last two defenses? Both of those guys, or were they backups at that time?
No,
you're talking about a team that's got like 14 shutouts in 2 years.
Right. No, they played defense. They didn't play much offense last year, but they were definitely involved with our defense.
Year before as well?
Potiker was, CW wasn't.
And it's what you've done on defense. You see these guys being, you had great playmakers like Holiday, was a playmaker on both sides of the ball, but he was very good on defense. That's why he was an all-state linebacker. You see these guys, and I think they're a little bit bigger than maybe Holiday was. Are they the same type of players?
They are.
Can they be that replacement there?
They are. They play hard. They, like I say, they understand what their responsibilities are, and they just play hard, physical, good old-fashioned Dick Buckus football. That's what we like about it.
It seems like you're an old school guy, and you don't mind saying it either. Is that the kind of guys you like?
Absolutely.
You got the kind of guys are you in a situation where you got the kind of guys you like?
Absolutely. And again, I relate it back to our community, our culture, the way the kids are raised in our area. And again, I'll say they put a little pressure on themselves to be good, and that motivates them. And again, we're expecting some nice things out of these guys.
How do you go about? I mean, I think that AG is your number one back. And he's a good one. Are you gonna? You had a lot of depth there. I think the last couple of years, the last maybe 3 or 4 years in back. But you always had that one guy. Are you finding some depth behind AG there in the backfield? How How will that all work out?
We are. We've got 3 kids that we're counting on that's running in there at backups, and Potiker, he could play tailback if we needed him to. CW can play tailback. Those kids run well enough. If something major would happen to AG, we could step them in. And we're working with a couple freshmen that we love playing freshmen because that gives you experience for the future, and we've got a couple freshmen that we feel can help us on Friday nights.
On a normal Friday night down here in AG's got, say, 25, 30 carries, and who would you bring freshmen in if it was a mop-up situation?
Oh, we got a couple nice freshmen.
Would they come in and maybe run the ball before Potiker and Sturgill?
In that case,
scenario,
yes.
if you're
in that scenario,
in control,
yes. Yes, we've got a nice looking freshman class that, as a staff, we are really high on them. Now they still need to develop their bodies. Don't get me wrong, but as far as their abilities,
well, I know you guys will take care of that in the field house.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for this group? I mean, like I said, last year, I mean, you just kind of caught that wave and rode it all the way to Wheeling. You can't expect to undefeated every year, but I mean, what are your expectations for?
Well, we got to gain confidence as we go through the year. We do have 7 kids that's played a lot of football on this field, but we got to get them other kids to step up and get on board, and hopefully they will in time. But we got to stay healthy, no drama, play hard-nosed football, and just let the cards fall where they may, because these kids are talented.
What is your take? You guys are single A and you're going to stay there because you're a single A size school. What is your take as a single A coach on all this movement around in the higher classes in the state?
It's ironic you asked me that question because my wife and I talked last night, and I told him, I said, Dave's going to ask me this question and I'm going to answer it this way. I don't have enough acronyms behind my name to make a call on that, so we'll just leave it as it may.
Your wife tell you to say that?
Absolutely.
Acronyms.
She's a psychologist, yes. She's a psychologist,
I know
so I get free therapy regardless if I want it, need it.
I would imagine, man, you're a case study.
Absolutely, absolutely. God bless her.
Things she did not learn.
That's right. That's right.
That I know you could bring to the table. How fired up are you to get this started with these guys and let them, because I mean, all the talk last year was a great year, but I know you're probably tired of fielding those questions, and I'm probably not going to ask you about it anymore. But I mean, when you look back on it, what will be your fondest memory? And then I'll ask you about getting started with these guys.
Yeah, there's so many. There's just not one in particular. The way the Moose took care of the kids as far as feeding them, the trip through Rainelle on the way to Wheeling.
You might say the trip, yeah.
And I mean, there are just so many things there I can't say without leaving someone else. I'll just say this: the kids, the coaches, the administration, the community, everybody got on board and got that snowball rolling, and it was a wonderful fall last fall.
Are you excited to get these guys started and see what they can do?
We are very excited. We expect things out of these kids, and that's the way we operate. And you look around here right now, as we speak, they're paving our gravel walkway over there that looks wonderful. They built us a daggone, we're calling it the touchdown terrace, where the kids come out of the locker room. That's awesome. Of course, we got our field last year. Things are going in the right direction that the kids love being a part of.
Well, and you guys do a great job down here, too.
Well, I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you for that.
All right. Kelly, I appreciate your time, and good luck this year.
Thank you.